Hey everyone, can you hear? Oh, hang on. Seems to say.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, not bad. Let me just check something because it seems it's going through my speakers rather than through my headset.
Okay.
Yeah, that's silly. I'll just use the speakers anyway. Is the volume okay for everyone?
Yep, I can hear you.
So I guess it's just us three?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Maybe there's another one.
Yeah.
Jed.
I think Jed was around. I think there are a couple of other people there. Maybe we'll just give it a couple of seconds and let see if anybody else wants to come in, and then we're recording now anyway, so I can bounce that over later. How's everyone doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good, but it's like so much work. It's crazy.
Startup life, yay!
Yeah.
Hey, Jed, welcome. Jed?
Hey, man.
Hey, I guess we're doing our own ad hoc meeting today. Is there any way we can monitor to make sure that Kenny comes in on the other one?
Yeah. How about the others, though?
I don't know. So we've got 5 of us now.
So we're seeing the recording notification. So the other office hours aren't recording, right?
What do you mean? Sorry, I got a little bit of feedback there.
Right now we're seeing the recording at the upper right of the screen, while the other office hours don't have it. So
No.
you can assume that
I'm recording this one so that we can basically ping it to Kenny just in case later on.
Yeah.
All right. So shall we get a start? Who wants to go first?
Can I go first?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, so hi guys, and thanks Sean for holding this proxy officer. So I'm just gonna assume like a proxy Kenny, or basically everyone is proxy Kenny. So I just very quickly recap. Cash Track is a expense tracking software for working professionals. So it's something like Mint in the US. So this week we've been writing some proposals for funding and just working on coding up future versions and sort of doing whole lot of automation on the back end with regards to like email marketing. So we get like users in, and every time there's a new user, we send them an automated email a day later or 2 days later, and depending on what kind of actions they've taken on the page. And just general bug fixing and coding, and that's most likely what we'll be doing for the rest of the week as well. So that's pretty much it from my end.
So I guess you're just basically working on both investments and getting more users on.
That's basically it, Sean.
So what's your growth rate? How many users are you getting on? How are you getting them through?
I'm sorry, Sean, there was some sort of feedback. Could you repeat?
Oh, sorry. I was just asking, so where are your users coming from at the moment, and how much are you growing by? How many users did you get over the last week?
Okay, so most of our users are coming from 3 countries in descending order of usage. That is Singapore, India, and China. And basically, the number of users, we get a lot of downloads, but a lot of them do not convert into sign-ups. So we are getting around 60 to 70 downloads a day, but say 10% per day convert into users. So
Okay.
mainly because we don't support a lot of banks from countries, so we're sort of building our backend to support that.
Okay. But it's good that you're getting the users on, so at least you've got the contact details for when it does support the banks, right?
Exactly. So that was the whole reason for setting up the infrastructure
Okay,
and
cool.
the automation.
So I guess what's your biggest challenge of the week?
The biggest challenge of the week is just trying to get in touch with some of these users and get more of them to talk to us. As in we send emails, but not a lot of them reply. But some do reply. So you just want to increase that number. Just go after them a little bit more.
Okay. Anybody got any ideas to help out there on the user contact, getting an increase of people talking to them through email?
But that would be great. Anyone's got
Yeah.
any sort of tips.
That's a little bit of a hard one. Have you tried doing something like Intercom, like, doing it in-app rather than through email?
We do have a contact form embedded in the app. So a bunch of people do use that. But nothing sophisticated as yet. Do you have any service in mind that you can use?
Yeah, I know Intercom works and can do an in-app pop-up to basically create either a chat or even like one of those fill-in windows, so that you could basically have in the application itself, it's like, hey, that was easy, wasn't it? We'd love to know your feedback, and people are more likely to answer back there rather than having to go through to the contact form themselves.
Okay. Wait, that's intercom.com, right?
.io, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a few apps like that for like both web application and phone application feedback, like in-app feedback.
Okay.
But it's great. I've used Intercom before for a web app, and it was pretty good. Because it also kind of like pulls together. Yeah, Mark, I think
Mark just posted the link. Yeah. Thanks,
yeah.
Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Cool. So maybe give that a try and see if that helps you out with that.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for that, guys.
Cool. All right. Who wants to go next?
I'm
Cool.
Minida. Okay, I'm Andy from Minida, and Minida is a social network for strangers. And last week, we invited 60 participants to join Minida's internal testing. And currently, we have about 30 users sign in Minida and give us valuable feedbacks. They are positive about our social features in the Minida, but they also concerned about the privacy issues. So we planned 6 user interviews with them, and we just finished 3 interviews yesterday. Those interviews not only help us to find out the problem in the Minida, but also inspire us our team about future design of the Minida. For example, one user told me that while they love Loopify and look forward to the Minida is a place that they can make friends with someone is not related with his routine life. He's very interesting about someone is not his college classmate or family. So we want to Minida is a social network for strangers, but based on the user feedbacks, we think it will not just a place for users interact with the strangers. They also want to develop the relationship with those strangers. So next week we will finish our remaining 3 interviews and also release a new version of internal testing to fix some usability issue we found. And the big challenge is still speed. We try to move faster, but obviously it's not fast enough. So we will try to narrow down and focus on the core part and make sure Minida can be officially released as soon as possible.
Okay, so your biggest thing of the week is just taking the feedback and continually developing the product?
Yeah, that's our this week updates, and we will basically fix the usability issue at first, and then we try to redesign our product based on those feedback in this internal testing and also from the user interviews.
Okay, and what's you said that it's taking a long time to do the development. Is that just because of development time, or because there's quite a lot of different things that you want to try?
Because we have only 2 people to doing those things, so we tried our best, but still struggle in the speed. But so I think we try to focus and narrow down. We not to think too much about, and we want not to think of. We try to focus on one feature or two feature, not every feature.
Course. No, that's definitely the way to go. I know from experience and what people have said. It's like just choose one or two features and test them one at a time. Don't get into the situation where you want to fix them all at the same time. Just out of curiosity, this is just a quick thought. Like when you say a social network for strangers, is there another word that you have thought of rather than strangers to kind of make it sound a little bit more inviting?
Okay, you say if we have, you said that if we have lots of users, it will not be the environment for strangers, right?
No, not that. It's just more kind of like the wording of it. It's just something I was thinking of. It's like, your value proposition is to get to meet new people, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's right. We think the strangers is not really proper. How to say that? It's not the right word.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So we will change it for official release, and we, as I said, people want to make friends with someone. It's not in their regular life. It's not their college, not their friends, or not their family. So we will try to rename our strangers this word.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking that whole thing about how many degrees of separation between people, just kind of trying to think of it that way. It's like, it's just, this is kind of like the marketing side, something about making friends with the world or something like that. It might sound a little bit more inviting than strangers, but that's just my 2 cents.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right, awesome. Thanks very much. Who should go next? Let's see. Mark, do you want to go next? You've been pretty active and on the chat. Mark, we can't hear you. All right, maybe we'll, yeah, I think you still have mic issues. If you don't mind, maybe we'll go on to Jed, but if you want to just post the, in the chat, what you've been up to in the last week and stuff, I'll read it out for everyone. But for the time being, Jed, you want to go?
Sure. Hey
Jed,
guys.
how's everything?
Yeah. So yeah, just a quick recap. Serveast is on-demand home service for massage and alternative therapies. This week we were a bit busy with other life stuff, but we tried to put in updates whenever we can. So like Minida, we're only 2 people. So I'm involved in the technical end, while my co-founder is involved in the business end. For the business end, we've been talking to people, and the challenge that we've been facing is that we wanted how to convince them of the value that this service adds to their practice. And for the technical end, well, it's going slowly a bit, but yeah, hoping to roll out a prototype wireframe by this week or next. So yeah, that's the main gist of what happened last week for us. Yeah,
okay,
challenge going forward.
I think I'm gonna fill in. I'm gonna fill in the role here. Why is it 2 weeks for the wireframe prototype? Is there any way that you can speed it up?
Yeah, we're working on it part-time a bit. So yeah, the schedules 2 weeks. I'm giving it a conservative assumption, but yeah, 1 week I think we could have a wireframe going.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try and channel Kenny here and go is there anything you can do to speed that up so that you can get a product out there and get it testing?
Yeah, we were talking about hiring people. We've actually had a meeting with a friend from Singapore last night, and we're thinking of hiring another developer so that I can lighten my load in terms of development. Yeah.
But is there anything you can do to basically test the service without having to do the development? Like I remember I wrote a note about that a couple of weeks ago. Like basically bring a couple of services on board and get somebody as an intern just to basically do the matchmaking and filling in and stuff like that and calling around and stuff for you.
Yeah, we actually tried to follow Joe's advice a couple of weeks back. We calculated the expense for hiring an intern and the profit that we're going to get, and I don't think it's possible quite yet. It's going to be such a measly amount that we're not going to make anything. We're going to use all the gains to give the intern a salary, but yeah, we're thinking about doing it on our own without hiring an intern. So trying to carve out. Yeah.
Because I think if you can manage to get at least like, one or two very strong use cases to prove your company and what it's worth, would make it very easy to sell it to other people.
Yeah, like a testimonial. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's very strongly like, I know in sales, like, testimonial, especially for B2B, seems to work very well, and B2C, it kind of makes them feel a little bit safer using it.
Yeah, I might have to be the one to do the servicing for that one.
Well, so, it's not unheard of. But okay, so what's your biggest challenge for the week?
Yeah, so for the business end, we're trying to develop a more streamlined onboarding for the potential providers. We're not having trouble getting customers since I think, I don't have the exact number yet, but we have 60% of the respondents for our survey, or 70%, I think, are willing to avail of the service for the service that we're going to provide. But the providers, we're having much harder time convincing them that, hey, this is going to boost your business. It's not going to help us. We're going to help you.
Okay.
Yeah, for the time,
Mark just posted in the chat, do you need to pay an intern? Some roles with the right person would be able to hire an unpaid, especially part of a school university program.
Yeah. It's summer break now, so that's the challenge when hiring university ones. And I don't think if I have contacts in the computer science department, but I don't think it's going to be that relevant for a computer science student to be matchmaking.
Do they have any job boards or anything at the universities or even high schools and stuff like that?
I think,
or maybe start talking to some high school teachers. I know there are some people who, in business schools and ones that focus on business have programs like that.
Really good idea. High school students might be the way to go instead of college students if
because
they want.
They'll get to learn some business stuff too.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Sean.
All right, awesome, Mark. Cool. We'll just go to Mark now, seeing that he's going through text rather than because he's still having mic issues. He says, Transporter's biggest issue has recently been in KPI measurements. How do you mean by that, Mark? As in, what's the right thing to measure for the growth of your business, or more towards like, trying to figure out where your value is coming from? Been measuring wrong figures and worse than thought. What are you actually measuring at the moment? Definition of active users, grossly inflated numbers, and lowered apparent churn. I think this is something we might have to have a chat with Kenny about once he's back, because I'm not sure how to approach that one. It's always hard to try and figure out what numbers are the ones that are important to your business. So active users, you're basically measuring how many people use the service or how many companies you have that are signed up. Right now, working hard to figure out why many are churning and bring that number down, actively being one. Mark, are you doing, when people kind of churn, is it just a natural churn, or do they actually have to delete or get rid of their account? Previously had signed in within the last month as active. Okay. Okay. Have you done any email like campaigns to say, hey, we miss you, why aren't you using us anymore? I get a load of those emails from companies when I don't use them.
Just to chime in, I think the one thing which you mentioned, Sean, like, do you? I mean, we miss you. Would you like to come back? I think we've sent a couple of those, and it kind of works in like 40 to 60% of those really do seem to convert.
Yeah, because at least if you're doing that, like even 40 or 60% of like, the emails that you get for like, if you get a response to that, wait, they come back or they just give you a response and say, hey, what's going on?
No. Some of them, they open the email, and like a few of them, I don't know the number, but they do end up logging back in. So, okay. But 40 to 60% is the people who open the email. And there is a certain percentage of that, I don't know, but they do seem to come back and add an account. Yeah. In our case, the action is to either add an account or to delete an account or, just update, basically.
Is there anything that you do to create an incentive to make them come back? Like, I know when I leave something in a shopping cart, like, you get the 5% off coupon if you buy it now kind of thing.
Actually, we are not doing anything like that. It's just like a bunch of cute.
Just a bunch of that one. Mark, are you trying anything like that? Like, discounted next booking or something like that? Just if anybody can't read this, Mark just said, yep, working on that too, trying to get response from lots. Even phoning is providing tricky. Intercom is a great tool for this. Got personal looking automated emails to help encourage people to log in and get going, but still more work to focus now. That's one of the plans we're looking at now. So I guess kind of like the incentivized come back to us. Just out of curiosity, Mark, when they do log in, do they actually make a booking and everything, or is it just they log in and don't really do anything? Because I remember reading something about one of the biggest things that I think it was Dropbox did to increase a lot of their usage was basically their onboarding was to walk people through the process in when they first sign up, and that meant that it increased the amount of times that people would continue to use the platform. But I don't know, that might be out of range, but who knows? So anyway, I think Mark is just putting in things as we go. One of the plans looking at now varies. Some sign up but never log in, which is a tricky one. Some use a bit in one session, then not back. Yeah, that's a hard one. I don't know. Well, anyway, Mark, I think we might just leave that one there, just because in the guise of time, I know that Zoom blocks us out on 40 minutes anyway. So we'll just go straight to, should we go to Joe next?
Hi.
Hiya.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So Okay, what should I share? So in the past weeks, so just last week, our startup has been going on the demo day. I don't know everyone understand the term demo day. It's a day where we pitch our startups to the public because we has been in the accelerators for 6 months. So basically, we just got another round of funding. So yeah,
Excellent. That's that's through the accelerator or outside of it?
within the accelerators and also outside.
Congratulations.
It's a big round.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that was all from the demo day.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
So
that's great.
yeah. So because in Thailand, the platform like us is like there's only two competitors. I think. Yeah, there are no emerging competitors because the tech talent in Thailand is not quite abundant yet, and it's like it's very hard to find a team of developers here. So yeah, with my developer,
just one quick
yeah.
thing. Just so that everybody can be reminded, can you do your quick elevator pitch about your company?
Okay. So basically, Seekster, it's a platform where you can find a service like a maid and handyman. So it's a cleaning and maintenance service for property.
Excellent. Yep. So your biggest thing of the last week was going through your demo day and getting funding. Congratulations on that. What about
Yep,
within the
thank you.
business itself? What have been your challenges over the last week, and what are your challenges coming up?
Yeah. So so ever since the announcement of the funding, we started the hiring process, and we want to be the team is going bigger. Currently, it's a team of 13 people with 3 co-founders, and we are going to be a team of 20 by the end of the year, since we have a plan to expand to other city as well. I think the challenge about the service marketplace, as it happens all over the world, the biggest challenge would be how would you maintain the quality of the service providers. So on my side, in maintaining the service quality, we are going to launch something not scalable. So we are going to launch an academy, just a small office space that let these service providers to come on board and train with us for like 1 day, just a one day lessons, and we charge them. We get the profit from this also, but after we train them, we onboard them onto our platform, so that we can secure the number of the suppliers to the optimized level. Let's say if we have too many service providers, they are going to drop off because there are not enough jobs for them on the platform. So in this way, we open our own academy. If we have too many, we just stop the training. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it's the strategy of our team is to control the whole supply chain from the supply and to the marketing.
So that's great on the side of find the suppliers. At least you're looking at that side of it. But what about growth for the for your users of the application?
Oh yeah. So the growth is for me is quite easy to do business in Thailand, especially Bangkok, where people already has access to the 4G networks. It's like over 10 million people in Bangkok that's use smartphone already. But as I told you, there are no major players yet as a startup. So we do only digital marketing, and it's the people respond to it quite well since there are no competitors.
Do you know what the ratio is from users to suppliers where it might become the point of oversupply of suppliers and therefore they can't get jobs?
So currently, we don't know the threshold yet, but the numbers of the household in Bangkok, it's around 5 million, and that 5 million is like it's like you time that by 4, and that is like the maximum number that the city can occupy. So
Okay.
basically, I think on the demand side, the maximum number would goes around 1 million household requesting a service a day,
Okay.
per day. Yeah. Or to be more optimistic, let's say it's just only 500,000 requests per day, and I think we cannot supply that.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I was thinking, because you said that you're worried about your platform having an oversupply of service of people to do the services without the market of people to make the bookings. But if what you said just there is that it might be the opposite way around, means
Yeah.
you should also, as much as you want to focus on getting people onto the platform as a service providers, it might be more beneficial to get them on, do some focus on users as well. But I guess that's a double-edged sword, and you got to look at both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
So what's your biggest challenge for the week ahead?
This week ahead, it's as I read in the Stanford Business Review, about how do we scale up. I would spend up 60% of my time in hiring process and training my team. I think that's the most essential thing that we haven't done before, because it's like we are a team of very young people. Everyone is around 24 to 25. We have no experience in leading a company, so I think that's a big challenge in building a team.
Hey, don't worry. Lots of us are in the same position as well. So, like, you know, sometimes it's good not knowing how exactly to do it, so that you could start breaking the cliches of what has been done in the past and try and figure out just the best way to do it. Have you ever had somebody, do you have any advisors or anybody who have grown teams and businesses who you can ask for help with? From?
We have around 6 mentors. They are big players in Thailand. They are from e-commerce platform, and they are the pioneers of the startup world in Thailand. So basically, we position ourselves as a rookies of the startup world, and we entered accelerator program that are provided by them. So basically, we have so many mentors to ask for. So yeah, I don't think that's gonna be a problem. We are quite confident about the brighter future. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, good luck on the growth of it, and congratulations again on your new funding. I think we'll just cut that one there and go over to Alex.
Yeah, hi guys.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, just a quick question to Joe. Are you said you're in Taiwan, but you operate in Thailand? Is it correct, or you're in Thailand? Sorry.
Yeah, we are in Thailand. We based in Thailand.
Sorry, okay.
Yeah, Bangkok, Thailand, the capital, and expanding soon to another city in 2 months.
Okay, cool. So Alex, quick recap of what you do, and then what you've been up to the last week, and what your challenges are for the next week.
Yes. We're actually selling our product to real clients, and we've got the first kind of client who is ready to try our ads, our new type of ads. It's a gaming client. It's not yet a brand. That's what we aim for, but brands are less quicker. They are kind of slower. We have a couple of meetings next week with already brands, but for now we're just preparing the first campaign for the gaming client. We just want to animate, like his campaign will be, it's a local game in Vietnam, and we'll just animate faces of some images with special lenses which are relevant for this game. And we'll see what happens, if it will be any interest from the user. But the first reaction is very positive. I mean, usually people who advertise, they use very understandable channels, marketing channels, and when you show them something new, it like, wow, it's interesting, let's try. Looks new, we never saw it again. The first feedback is something like that, and now we need to see if the campaign will drive the results which we expect. But overall, it's getting more interesting, because if you think about what you can do with objects, when you see objects and what you can do with that, if you think about it, like imagine you are watching some video, usually on YouTube, you have ads which content providers, they decide where your ad will be placed. Or Facebook, they will do the ad in the middle of the video. That's at least their plan. And the ad usually is a banner, right? It's a banner like that at the bottom, or it's pre-roll like the whole video. But what's been currently like at F8, it's the Facebook conference. Probably some of you watched it through. Now they introduced the kind of technology which allows you to capture the object in video and add something around it. They do it, of course, for artists at the first place. What artists can do now, they can have a live stream and they can add some objects around their head or some very connected, and you don't need to code. They provide you the full, it's called AR, like studio, like augmented reality, and actually it looks pretty impressive technology. But of course, I expect that another application of this technology would be ads incorporated into video stream, very naturally. So it doesn't look like a banner, but when you capture some object, you can try. For example, the easiest example is you can, if you provide TV series, you can repaint your T-shirt in the whatever brand gives you ads. You can do it on your T-shirt, and it will always be different. So
you can basically do live product positioning and do it to whoever has the highest bid for that. Love it. Out of curiosity, last week you were mentioning your biggest issue for that before that you were facing was trying to show the value of your advertising platform over traditional AdWords and stuff like that. How did you go with that?
I mean, that's what I told them. As soon as we launch the campaign, we'll see. It will be easy to measure. You just measure the leads, uplift CTRs, and all that stuff.
So basically, this campaign is going to be kind of like your proof of concept and the way to show the difference between a traditional campaign and your one. Oh, perfect. That's great. So what's your biggest challenges in the week ahead?
It's just to launch it and sell it. Just because it's, people have curiosity, but it's not for them. It's something new, and we still need to sell it. Just need to complete this test.
So when's the launch?
Well, hopefully beginning of next week. But we're trying to push it quicker.
And that's being held up by the client or on your side?
No, on our side. We do the creatives for them. It's all done by us. For now, it's just we do everything. We just need to make this first test and see how it goes and if it gives the results.
Great. Cool. Okay. Well, thanks very much for your update. I guess with everyone else, that just leaves me. So, my update for the last week. As many of you know, I made the difficult decision to fire my co-founder. So that basically puts me back to being a single founder. After spending the time going through a lot of his work and stuff, I realized that he didn't get as far as I had hoped he did in the amount of time. So at the moment, I am in the process of trying to find not a replacement co-founder, but more some employees who can work on the project. I guess that's the best way and fastest way to do things moving forward. In the last week, one of my main things was to start working on email list building. I think that some of you who saw in the chat, I've updated the website, so it kind of points and directs more towards our first product. So it's a little bit more informative. We're going to look a little bit more into changing the web page to have more information about the product and hopefully capture some emails and start the conversation going with some people who are interested, as well as a few people sent through something from a Learn to Learn course where somebody talked about the Pomodoro time keeping method. So the lady who ran that course, we're trying to get in touch with now. I'm also saying we are now because I've managed to convince my lovely wife to jump on board and help out with the marketing, which is absolutely fantastic, but also makes home time a little bit interesting, trying to figure out, like, you know, where you stop talking about business and where you start relaxing. But we'll see how it goes as it goes. Yeah. But in the week ahead, I am going to try and finish off the prototype of our get time Pomodoro timer. And then from that point on, it is just getting the software and firmware all done. Unfortunately, we wanted to try and get it done within the next week with my co-founder on board, but it looks to be potentially another month of work away until we have something which is going to be handed out to people to beta test. And at that same time, hopefully also send it and put it up for our Kickstarter campaign as well. We're going to try and do the video next week, so I might just post a link to that one to hear your feedback. It's literally a video 60 seconds long, not even showing the product, more about telling the value proposition, and hopefully that's interesting enough to keep people on for 60 seconds, which is about 1/3 the length of a typical Kickstarter video. So should be interesting, but you know, try it and see. Cool. All right. So I guess that's everyone. Anybody have anything to add?
Where is Kenny?
Right. All good. All right, sweet. Glad we managed to do this. Seriously, like, you know, we should keep this one going anyway. In any case, is like, you know, if at all, like, you know, even after startup school, because it's good to just catch up and hear everything from everyone else. But in any case, I'm gonna put this one on YouTube as a unlisted link or something, and then put it in the chat, and also send a copy of it to Kenny just in case. All right.
All right.
Cool.
See you.
Okay.
All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good week ahead.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
See you guys.